Judy. No, it's no background.
We are live. Please introduce the event.
Well, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Is it afternoon? It's afternoon, evening. I am so honored to be asked to share and to introduce you to my sister, Sisterwoman vegan, Safiya Robinson. Safiya is a vegan chef. And I'm just meeting her. We're just meeting each other, and we're all meeting together and sharing in her wonderful food philosophy, which is a philosophy not just about preparing delicious and fabulous meals, but also a philosophy of wellness. Right, Safiya?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So my name is Arlene McKenzie, and I am also a vegan person. And that's why it's so exciting to be sharing with Safiya some of her journeys and her choices, and why she's followed this path. I'll share some of mine as well. Safiya, can you introduce yourself, and then we can get right to it?
Yes, hello, I'm Saf. I'm Safiya. I'm Sister vegan. I've been vegan for about 6 years now, and I'm kind of on a mission to make all of us vegan, or all of us at the very least plant-based. I believe in holistic wellness, so looking at the mind, body, and the soul, and connecting all those three things. And my three main things I focus on are community, mindfulness, and education. So using food as a kind of the thing to bring us together to kind of talk about and develop those areas. So, yeah.
Great. I think that's fabulous. I mean, I love pasta. I love plant-based stuff. It took me a while to get into peas.
Really?
Because I'm traditional. One of these people who pick out the peas out of the rice and peas.
What? Oh my God!
I know. And then and so peas have not been my favorite thing, but I recognize, I've never enjoyed cooking meat. Mm-hmm. And for me, I recognize that it's contributed towards my whole wellness, my well-being.
Yeah.
And on the journey to Rastafari, because it's a journey.
Definitely.
One of the things that one of the major philosophies is saying that if you have to run after food, if your food runs away from you, it can't be good. And to kill something and eat it, it's like a double murder. So in terms of that, that's been my philosophy, that really, if your food what we eat is what we are. And if we can maintain a healthy intake, then we contribute towards our wellness. Mm-hmm. So what would you say is why did you venture onto this path?
So lots of different reasons. My reason for going vegan was actually completely almost irrational. I ate guinea pig when I was in South America, basically, and it wasn't very nice.
Guinea pigs.
Yeah, the experience was quite traumatic for me, actually. It was kind of, I was really struck by the fact that I was eating flesh, not meat, but flesh. And for the first time, those two things were different and distinct. And meat was suddenly just this word, this arbitrary word that we were given to hide and sanitize that whole process. We're eating flesh. We are, like killing and taking life and using that life to sustain us. But is that worth it? Is that loss worth it? Do we have the right? And so I was just kind of thinking about those things. And so it wasn't to do with the animals, really. It wasn't to do with health. It wasn't to do with the planet. It was just kind of almost like a moral kind of thought process there. And then as I started to get more into veganism, I started to like read more and learn more about kind of how incredible it is, or at least plant-based eating, and focusing on food as a healing modality. So what we eat is how we feel, like you said. And there's an amazing quote where it's like food changes up into cells. And cells become life. So if you're like, the food you're eating makes you that incredible person that you're meant to be, gives you the energy. And that was Verta Smart Grosvenor. You should look her up. She does amazing things with the vibration cooking, which is very similar thought process to Rastafari and Ital food. The kind of this idea that what you eat makes up you and your character and your spirit and how you kind of show up in the world. So yeah, right. A whole bunch of reasons why. But right now, it's actually like a focus on mental health for me. So realizing really like how linked that is, because we always talk about physical health. And really the only conversation around food is kind of limiting it, restricting it. Right. And not really about the nutrition. We kind of focus on calories, not the nutrition. And so I was kind of suffering with that. I have ADHD, mental health issues, and I was trying to figure out ways to cope with them holistically. And food was one of the great ways, herbs as well. And just, really getting in, thinking about what we're consuming.
Right. What did your family say?
My dad loves to ask me when I'm going to start eating meat again. He thinks that will be the moneymaker. If I just suddenly turn meat, that's not going to happen. I was vegetarian from when I was 6. I was like, I'm going to be vegetarian. And I went from 6 to 13, I was vegetarian, and 13 to 20, I ate meat again. But 6 to 13, I was vegetarian. And so they were very used to me eating. Not
6? Did you say age 6?
6.
So what made you at age 6 decide that you wanted to know?
Again, a very silly reason. So at age 6, it was because I went to my best friend's at the time's house, and her and her mum were vegetarians, and they gave me a vegetarian dinner, and I was like, tastes good, like, and you don't have to kill the animals. That's great. And I think I was just kind of a curious child. I wanted to try things. I probably was wanting to be what's the word? I wanted to annoy my parents probably as well. Just be like, just make it about me. Be contrary. I don't want to eat that. Give me something else.
Attention grabbing technique.
Yeah, a little bit of that maybe. But I'm glad. Like it's made it a lot easier. I think with the transition to veganism. I'm not scared of certain foods. I know what can be done. The range of things that can be done with the food. So that's been very helpful. But yeah. It's so funny because when I went vegan, maybe like 2 years before, my friend was thinking about going vegan. She's currently not vegan. She never made the attempt, but she wanted to go vegan, and I was like, why on earth would you want to go vegan? That doesn't make any sense. And then 2 years later, I'm now vegan, and then 4 years later, I have a vegan business. So it's like, I'm sold by the. I think I'm definitely an active learner. So right, yeah, definitely have to.
Do you have a family of your own? Do you have children? No,
I have no kids. Which this is my choice. Thankfully, right now it's not the time. But yeah, definitely not the time right now.
I just wondered if you had to prepare meals for anyone, if they were saying.
I have done cooking lessons with kids, and they are so contrary. They come in, they're like, I don't want to eat that. What is that? And the whole way they're complaining, and they actually try it. Like, I guess it's okay. I guess it's fine. I guess it's good. So it is really interesting seeing. I think a lot of it is kind of conditioning, because I remember being a child and liking vegetables. So I don't like I feel like it's all marketing that kids don't like to try different things. Like they love fruit, they love veg. It's about making it interesting, I think. So yeah, I think I have a couple of friends who do have kids and who are raising them plant-based, and I can't really tell the difference personally between the plant-based children and the non-plant-based children, but they seem to be happy and healthy and doing well. So
right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's how food is presented, which is what makes it interesting. And I think that non-meat, plant-based meat, plant-based meals, I should say, have journeyed a long way now. So there are a lot more choices, there are a lot more recipes, and people are experimenting. So you're going to show us today?
I'm going to show
I'm going
to show you some Rasta Pasta. I wanted to do something kind of simple, filling. I think lots of people don't like vegan food because they think that it's like rabbit food that won't fill them up. And this is all like really familiar flavors. If you're West Indian, if you're not, they're still quite familiar flavors. And just really kind of creamy and comforting. And it's the horrible weather today, so I think it's gonna be perfect. So yeah, I guess we should just get on with it.
Great. Yes, let's get on with it. Can I ask also talk while you're doing this, but why do you think, why Rasta pasta and why not vegan pasta? I'm just being devil's advocate here.
I think for me, the reason why I have decided to go with that with the name is I like the kind of the connection to Ital food. So like it sparks the conversation, but also it's the connection to Jamaica, and the kind of all of these things are life-giving. If you look at like, I don't know.
Your Jamaican heritage.
Yeah, like look how vibrant and like vital these ingredients are. I think that like they all show kind of I don't know, like the I don't know how alive and vital all these ingredients are, this dish. And it's those you can do with kind of any vegetables you have in your cupboard, really. So I like that it's like super accessible. And yeah. What did you say?
I was asking if your connection to Jamaica, you said.
Yes. So my granddad is Jamaican. My mum's African American. My dad's mixed Jamaican English. So I have kind of I'm a true diaspora child.
You are.
Yeah, true diaspora child. But I like that because also, you know, I think that obviously like Jamaica has diaspora as well. So there's like the Jamaican Jamaica in America is different. Jamaican people have a different culture in America than they do here, and so it's really interesting kind of mixing African American culture with the West Indian culture here, and seeing kind of all the similarities, but also the differences that our different contexts kind of brought in. Because obviously we came from the same place.
Right.
We just stopped at different ports, right? I'm just gonna fill up.
Yes. Talk and walk.
Yeah, if everyone can turn on their ovens, we're gonna I'll guess my sticks are about 200. Let me see that. Feel free to ask me more questions.
Okay, so what have you got there? Would you like to share with us what you're starting with?
I'm gonna go through so just gonna put some water on to boil. Get that out of the way nice and quickly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have a bunch of, I can show you and bring you down. Ooh.
Did you mute yourself, Saf?
Oh,
we're not hearing.
Of course I did.
Okay, so you were also telling me while you're sharing with us all your ingredients, why Rasta? And you know, not everybody understands what two things you use. Not everybody understands the word Rasta. Not everybody understands Ital. So I'm going to let you explain while you're working.
Okay. So first of all, we're going to be making a jerk seasoning. So I'm going to get my trusty what is this called? Food processor, and put in a whole bunch of stuff. So just bear with me. I'm going to be calling them out when I say them, when I put them in. So Rasta. So Rasta is, what's the best way to explain? We, as a cultural export, for some reason Jamaica has allowed Rasta culture to be kind of misaligned with dreadlocks and smoking weed and reggae. And that is obviously one aspect of it is using certain herbs and certain musical stylings have come out of this religion. I guess it's a religion, and it's a one that's kind of formed the basis of the basis of it is kind of freedom and what's the word? Pushback against white supremacy, and kind of reasserting blackness and being that connection to the earth, connection to God and spirit, connection to all these different things, being part of our kind of ancestral birthright. And there's a whole history that I feel like you're probably better.
That's a whole different show. Okay, so just get on. So it's
going from like Ethiopia to So, other basis it is if you are Rastafari, then you have a certain diet you follow. As an Ital Diet, and that means basically vital. Ital is vital, so it's all things that are life affirming, whole foods, plants, things like that.
I think it's perfect. You've said it. The critical elements is that in food preparation, Rastafari has been a very important introduction, because it's one of the cultures that have been very, very specific that your food is your life, and that what you take into your body is very important. And they have evolved a particular style of food preparation and eating, which acknowledges the fact that natural herbal products that grow in your garden, that gives you all the flavors in the world, and that your body doesn't need to ingest the amount of salt that it's having. That's the difference with Ital food. So you're going to prepare a pasta dish that's now called Rasta Pasta, right? It's been almost branded as such, and this is your special interpretation.
Exactly. I'm just gonna read out the line of recipes. Okay, if everyone's watching, we want to make the jerk sauce. So that is kind of lots of the right hand column or the latter half of the rest of the ingredients. So we're putting in the food processor or the blender molasses, sugar, allspice, thyme, cinnamon, nutmeg, garlic, spring onions, ginger, onion, vinegar. I'm going to put that in the chat.
So people don't have to try and remember that. All of that will be in the chat. Okay.
Yeah. That's much easier. Should do thyme.
So you call your whole project Sisterwoman, Sisterwoman Vegan.
Yes.
Is that tell me why?
Okay, so Sisterwoman is a poem by Azika Simba. She's a Jamaican poet.
She's a friend of mine, can I tell you?
Really? Oh my gosh, no, that's amazing. I would love to get in contact with her.
Yes, I'll give you afterwards, but she's she's a wonderful person.
That poem, honestly, I had a physical, emotional reaction to it, right?
Yes.
I wanted to be that person, that Sisterwoman. So it talks about Sisterwoman, talk about the pleasure, talk about the pain. And I want everyone to come to my table and talk about the pleasure, talk about the pain, talk about, veganism is such a conflicting identity, because it's actually very privileged. It's actually very there's a lot of there's two kind of sides to it. There's food and there's nourishment, but also the violent kind of thing that we don't talk about, the death and overconsumption, all these different things about food that we don't really talk about. So I want us to come together and talk about the pleasure, talk about the pain, and kind of sit and allow ourselves to feel joy, allow ourselves to feel sadness. And the poem is really, really, as a Black woman, it just spoke to me. That's how I want to make people feel. I want to welcome people to my table and give them space to do those things. So,
fabulous, fabulous. So this is joyful food.
Healing
food.
Exactly. It is truly that's the plan for Sisterwoman, is that to bring everyone joy. I think that we, especially in this Babylon, this cold England, we need it. We need joy, and we also, I think we need to have I find that cooking together is such an empowering thing, and such a kind of such a necessary thing to live in community. We don't really live in community anymore, and I feel like cooking is one thing that we can do together that really reminds us that we're not alone, reminds us that we're meant to be living in community together, and I think it just it's really important. That's the big vital part of Sisterwoman, is that community aspect, of like kind of breaking bread together, sitting down, and really kind of just holding space for each other, I think, you know.
And it's so important now in these days of separation and pandemics that we share food together.
Exactly. Because I mean, this pandemic has kind of really shown, revealed food insecurity to be one of the biggest issues that we're facing. You know, I learned the other day that only 30% of British people eat their 5 a day. Only 30%. And that's changed. It used to be 50%, or like in the 40s, and that was for white people it's 50%. For black people it's 40%. So that means that there is like a huge disparity, even though for our like home dishes we all very veg heavy.
Right.
So really, you know, there's a reason why we don't eat the right ways. And I feel like part of that is echoes of and throwbacks to colonialism, echoes and throwbacks to, you know,
which I guess is why it's so important for you to do your education program. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead. Show me.
I'm just showing you what I have going on in here. So like I said, like all the ingredients I've put in the chat, I'm going to blend them up. So I've got all of this apart from so what have I got? I'm just going to add the garlic now.
Ubele.com.
The garlic is just going to go in once we crush it, so I can easily. I want to use like 8 cloves, a lot of garlic. I love garlic. Garlic is the way, the truth, and the light. I think that some people don't use garlic for spiritual reasons, and I'm yet to understand, because I feel like I have a spiritual experience every time I eat garlic. But yeah, garlic has a lot of flavor, especially if you're not going to use salt. Feel free to not use salt in this, because it's got lots of thyme in it. It's got lots of garlic. It's got lots of flavor, so it doesn't.
And also, it's Ital. No salt.
No, exactly.
Ital. So we're not going to use the salt.
Take it out. Although I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, I have stock that's not got salt in it, so that's good. But that's interesting that you don't use powdered herbs or spices,
right?
Like why? Because it's processed.
Yes, and because because you get all the flavors that you need from the actual earth into the vegetables and into your herbs and then into your pot. So it actually keeps the meal much more pure. There we go.
Okay, these are Scotch bonnets. These are really, really hot, spicy peppers.
Yes.
I'm going to put 2. I said 3, but I'm not going to deseed mine. So I'm just going to put mine. I'm going to put 2 in. But feel free to use less if you don't like spice, or you can take out the seeds or whatever. There's ways to limit the spice, but it is important to the flavour. So I would definitely add it. If you're a bit worried.
Can I just say to the audience that Scotch bonnet pepper, unless those are some sort of hybrid mix of green pepper and Scotch bonnet, but Scotch bonnet is very hot. So it's something that you use with care and caution. And
I like that. Like, be careful now.
Be careful now. Understand what you're doing. I'm gonna, if people have questions along the way, Saf is going to put into the chat not just the ingredients but also the quantities.
You should have all the ingredients with you with the quantities, but I can do that as well. But it's
you don't have to do that now. We can do that afterwards.
Okay, I'll do that later. Okay, so I'm just gonna blend it. So I'm gonna be loud for a second. So just bear with me.
Saf, not to make you nervous, but we've got quite a group of people watching you, so that's nice. So you have to take it real slow a little bit so that people can follow what you're doing. It's really interesting. I was trying to see if I could get Adzika for you, just so that she could.
So this, if you can see, is my jerk sauce.
Your jerk sauce.
So I want you to, if you're along, have a big sniff. it smells amazing, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's got in here all the ingredients I put in. So molasses, sugar, brown sugar, allspice, thyme, cinnamon, nutmeg, garlic, vinegar, tamari, scotch bonnet. So that's lots of flavor, concentrated flavor, lots of spice. I'm just going to put in my pasta now. Water boil. No salt, I know, but I've just got my pasta, the type that requires a little bit of salt.
What kind are you using today?
I'm using some whole wheat fusilli. Normally I would use spelt, but I couldn't find any in the shop today. But yeah, I like fusilli. Any pasta kind of works with this. I like, I don't really like penne that much, but lots of people do it with penne. I don't know why. But yeah, as much pasta as you will eat, basically. And then I'm going to put this aside, this sauce, and just prep my vegetables. So we have what we're going to do is we're going to chop all the veg up. So we have peppers, we have cauliflower, we have plantain, we have onions. So we're going to like chop all those up and then pop them in here, mix them with this jerk sauce, and then roast them for about 15 to 20 minutes. So I think I'm going to show you which ones to use. So we have green, yellow, and red peppers, cauliflower. This is a big one. I'm going to use probably about half of the cauliflower. Plantain. I'm using some oyster mushrooms. The oyster mushrooms are super yummy. They're like, the texture is kind of like chicken. I got this in my local supermarket. But
wow, look at that! You're a real diaspora girl. Everything is
yes, I mean I try.
This is your Safiya recipe.
Exactly. It's a Rasta Pasta.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put that down there. So best way to chop this, and then just take that out. Look at that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I'm gonna do it in like strips. I just want it to be long and thin. So about like this.
Yes.
Ooh, can you see? It doesn't. You can do it any kind of shape that you like, any shape that you desire. It doesn't really matter. I'm probably just gonna do. I'm gonna do half of the red, because it's just 2 of us eating, and it's for 4 people. This recipe. So I'm just gonna do half of these veg. Again, just.
So Safiya, if I'm not a great cook, like I can obviously see you are, or I don't love the kitchen, you'll come and do this for me if I'm doing a special event or something?
Yeah, of course, I could do private catering or meal prep. But I think, if you're not a good cook, you can still do so many things in the kitchen. I think it's about prepping. It's about kind of getting to know recipes. So try, even maybe not for a big event. Maybe not for a big event for the first time, but I'd really like people to stop thinking they can't cook, because they just haven't found what they're good at yet. I think with everything, you can't, like, I learned how to, I started doing life drawing this over lockdown. I started doing it, and for my whole life I was very convinced that I could not draw whatsoever, but that isn't the point. I'm learning that isn't actually the point. The point is to just do it. Enjoy the whole experience, and there's nothing better than being nourished, and you nourished yourself. Like, that is just beautiful. So we're just gonna pop up the leaves.
You're right. Nothing wasted.
Nothing wasted. We don't want to waste anything. Just roughly chop them up, and then
the veggies look delicious. They look so healthy.
It's so nice to eat fresh vegetables.
Yes.
I remember when I was in South America, it was so difficult because you didn't want to eat the fresh veg because it would have been washed with the water and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
For being veggie while away can always become quite difficult, but really it's super easy because everything is fresh and quite like accessible. I'm going to do a separate one for the
These are the considerations about choosing to be vegan, though. Looking at your eating habits while traveling.
Yes,
and
definitely.
where you're going.
Definitely. I think like being vegan, it's not difficult. It just takes a little bit more time. And I think that's what a lot of us are actually like pouring. We are short on time, not money, not on desire to be healthy or desire to be more sustainable. It's actually just time. And so I think again, it's about like trying to meal prep. So what I might do, I wouldn't do a whole meal, but I would do like have, I don't know, make some vegan meatballs with like chickpea or lentils or something, and then freeze them so I have them ready so I can come home after work and just pop them in the oven. Or making like a tomato sauce. You spend like £1 on really horrible, like sugary, salty tomato sauces for pasta. But you can do something at home for 20 minutes with just 2 tomatoes and some basil and some garlic.
Right.
So really quite, you know, you don't need to be doing all that.
So I noticed on your website that you also do, you do like small training courses for people who want to make a nice healthy packed lunch maybe for their children for school.
Yeah, so I have like kind of set meal plans. So you can buy a meal plan and it has like, depending on what you need it for. So you can either do a customized one, or there's a student plan, or there's like a standard plan. And they are basically like a whole bunch of recipes with like tips on where to buy things, tips on how to get things cheaper, how to make things last. I'm just going to put the sauce on. I'm going to leave about 1/3 of the sauce because we're going to add it to the pasta sauce. So I'm going to do 1 dollop there, 1 here. And here's the fun part: you can get your hands dirty. Gloves, if you don't want to get your hands dirty, you can use tongs or something. But it's good to get cooking is physical. It is sensual. You need to use everything. Yes. So get deep in there. Okay.
This is why when you're eating out, you have to know what you're eating out.
Exactly. You don't trust.
Somebody else's hands in your food.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
When you're eating raw or plant-based, yes, great. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, look at the colors. Yeah.
The colors are super important. It's like kind of like the more colors you eat, the more happy your gut will be. The more happy it will be. So I'm just gonna look at the mushroom when it has all the sauce on it. It's super yummy.
Yes.
You can smell the spice. You can smell that everything's good.
So Saf, that's 2 different containers, right? The mushrooms in one.
Yeah, mushrooms are planted in one. You don't need to separate them. Mine is just not big enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Just wash my hands.
So the quantities that you specified, this is a meal for about how many people?
About 4 people.
About 4 people.
Yeah. I'm just gonna.
For everyone joining on chat, all the ingredients and the instructions and recipes, that's in the chat.
Thank you guys.
It's already in the chat. So don't struggle to remember everything. It's all there.
Oh yeah. Okay. So that is basically. We have 20 minutes to wait for that. I'm just going to put all my spare veggies in this pot. And then we're going to drain the pasta and get to work on the sauce. So the sauce is very, very simple. We're just going to make an onion base with some creamy, you can use coconut milk or you can use Oatly cream. And then it's a bit of like nutmeg, a bit of pepper, and some additional yeast, which is something that I use as like a cheese replacement. So it's kind of how to explain? It's super good for you. It's got B12 in it. It's got it's fortified with B12, and it's got a really like nutty, cheesy taste. And it kind of melts into the sauces and makes things really kind of. It's a good salt alternative actually because there's very low sodium, but it's kind of a salty taste. So I'm just gonna here. And then chop my onion up. So my onion. Use any onion, I'm just going to slice it
Yes.
The oven should be on gas mark 6 or 200. For about 15 to 20, it depends on your oven really, but 15 to 20 minutes. That should get a nice kind of golden look.
I love pasta.
Pasta is great, especially if you're doing it with lots of different like veg in it. So it's really filling, but you don't have to actually have that much of the grain.
Yes.
Because sometimes, you know, some of us aren't that good with wheat. I think if you should play around with there's loads of different pastas now, which is really great. Like I was in the shop today and there was a seaweed pasta made from seaweed. There was a like lentil pasta made from like red lentils, chickpea pasta. So you can play around if you're gluten-free.
Right.
I'm just going to drain the pasta now.
If anybody has any questions, you can put them in the chat as well. We'll just share them.
So I'm just gonna there's some coconut oil in. Just a little bit. Have fried onions, so it's not a lot of oil but yeah, you should hear a little simmering noise. Not enough oil in here, so I'm just going to put some water in. So if you can fry with water, it's so much better. Like I like to use oil as a flavoring ingredient rather than like as a processing ingredient, if you see what I mean. Yes. So then I think you use less of it, but you also for this sauce, it makes the onion taste gets in. Which I like.
So when did you start to prepare your own food? You spoke about going to your neighbors and tasting their food. When did you start doing your own vegan food?
I've always kind of loved to cook from a young age, and I feel like I've like me and my sister would cook our dinner. We would be in charge of feeding ourselves dinner from quite a young age. But I think it was when I was around 19, 20, and I started to cook for my friends. Obviously, got a bit older. You know, when you're 19, like clubbing and whatever, it's so passé. So you want to be grown up and you want to have a dinner party and like sit, drink wine and be civilized, right? So we started doing that, and people were like really responding well to my food. No, I my whole life I kind of had a bit of imposter syndrome about it. Not imposter syndrome, but it was kind of like I was expected to be able to cook well. And every black woman I saw around me could cook well. So I didn't really think that I had what I had was like an innate skill, you know, that was above everybody else. So I was like, everyone expects me to do so. So even if I am great, where are the big black chefs? You're not really the black female chefs. Where are they?
Right.
You don't see them, right? So for a long time it was just kind of like for myself. But then at uni, I started when I was vegan. I started doing meat-free Mondays. Nice. And that was with my horse. There was about 15 of us every Monday, and they would pay. And first it was just covering the ingredients, then it was a bit extra to cover my time. And we did like that every Monday for a whole year. And it was just so fun. Like we had amazing conversations. We would people were eating veg like on non-Mondays. Like I felt like having more vegetables. We'd go out for dinner and they'd order the vegetarian option. I was like, it's working. And so from about 2014, 2015 was when I started really thinking, maybe I can do this. But I didn't. I was again the imposter syndrome. I had a different plan. Yeah, I had a different plan. Yes, but yeah, I think kind of I was just kind of like, well, I felt cool to do it basically, and I started an Instagram, just posting my food, and then Black Girl Festival started, and I was kind of like, maybe I should do a stall there. Like that seems like that's what I want to feed, right? That's why that's who I've learned my practice from. So you know, reading books like Vibration Cooking by Vert and Mason Mark Grosvenor, and you know, having been Jamaican and African American, you have a long legacy of Black women in cooking. And so I kind of just was like, okay, let me do this market stall, and everyone really responded well to it. And I launched my business in 2018 at uni, and then I came back just last year and was kind of like, okay, I'm in London. How can I best serve the community here? And it turned into more of a wellness business, wellness social enterprise. It was talking about, looking at using food as a healing modality, getting us to talk about all these issues that we have. Both my grandfathers died because of diabetes. My uncle died. He didn't die from diabetes, but he was very ill. And so it's a big, we're disproportionately affected by food-related illnesses. And I think that a lot of the time, like I said before, we only look at calories and weight as opposed to nutrition and health and wellness. And so I wanted to change that to understand like what the difference was. If we decenter that from the way we talk about it, I think that's like a much better way to do it. Well, I'm finding that it's a much better way to do it, but we'll see. But yeah, so that's kind of how I got here. And it kind of, the community mindfulness and education aspects just kind of came out of my passion. So that's what I have been doing for the past five-ish years.
Right.
Is kind of, thinking about what my community needs, and obviously being at university, so reading a lot, and like that's a big part of my practice is like reading and research. And then the mindfulness kind of understanding that we are all, we don't have to, like cooking is a mindfulness practice, I think, and it's such a beautiful way to kind of connect with yourself, but also mindfulness in the sense that, getting everyone to pause and be in communion with each other is really important to me.
Right.
So I'm just frying the onions.
There's a question, Saf. Someone wants to know, what's your favorite salt-free line of seasonings when you're cooking? If you're trying to stay away from salt, what would you recommend?
Right. I actually recommend making them yourself. I don't have a favorite brand, because what I tend to do is make up my own blends. So like I just did with the jerk sauce. It's a whole bunch of different seasonings, but so just like thyme, allspice, etc. Blending them together. So you can, I have a couple on my website actually, but you can find some really great spice mixes online. And I think I don't know any off the top of my head, but there are a few black-owned, I think, spice seasoning blends. So I'll think about that, and if I find out, I'll send it to Ubele, because we should definitely be championing those instead of, I don't know, tropical sun or whatever.
Yes.
I think obviously it's you can also buy that in bulk more easily. I think if you buy your own spices in bulk and then mix it up, and then you can have different blends. And they're all quite simple. And once you have spice blends, it's so easy to season your food. It's so easy to make different dishes because of kind of
And it's important because, as you said, our community are disproportionately impacted by things like diabetes and sugar. And we need to learn to eat better, more consciously. And I visited your, as I said at the beginning, your website. You have a lot of information on there for people who want to follow up and ask questions, maybe outside of the Ubele construct, getting you to come in, doing personal tutoring and so on.
Definitely. I have you can do a free consultation for about 15, well, however long. I'm not going to cut you off if you have your flow. But you can message me anytime. I'll respond. I'm just going to put this jerk sauce back into the onions. I'm going to move it to a lower heat, like the lowest heat possible on the. It smells so good. I really hope that all your kitchens smell as good as mine. Like I love jerk sauce because it is kind of a mixture of everything that you like great about the world.
It is a fabulous sauce, and it's another element that you're not using and can't where you are is the wood that's used when you're making jerk sauce.
Yes, oh my gosh, that's the process is
that's the secret ingredient.
Yeah. Is the smoky, and even what type of wood you use makes such a difference. But I think that is the difference. I think no one really in England, unless you have a jerk drum, is making proper jerk. Because that is the process. And it's such a significant process because it's the Maroons' like way of eating and nourishing. Right, exactly. Yes. Nourishing themselves, while hiding.
Yes.
Basically from the British Empire, and thriving. So I think, this is jerk inspired, I guess.
Yes.
If you were to brush even the mushrooms, or anything, most of the time we chicken or pork.
Yes.
You can try it with aubergine. You can try it with courgette. Like I really like courgette, or portobello mushrooms, and then you can put those on the grill and get them more smoky, and that's really, really nice. But yeah, most of the time.
You know what? Yes. So when you use, even when you use your instruments, like once you prepare the meal and you serve it on a wooden platter, or you use wood, the pimento wood, it really gives that flavorful. Yes.
So I'm just gonna got a boiling kettle here. I'm just gonna put half a cup. I'm gonna put a cup in here, but I'm gonna.
Saf, what you doing now with the kettle? Sorry, I must have missed that in my own musings. Okay.
About half. I'm gonna be using about half a cup, but you can I'm filling it up a bit higher, and I'm gonna put in some stock. So this is vegetable bouillon I'm using. This is salt free. So I think probably most stocks are gonna have salt in them. Try really hard to get salt free. I think you can get it quite easily, like it just in the next aisle. But
if I may, it's not my preparation, but if I may, I use when I'm using want to just add that little bit of punch to the flavor. Rather than use salt, I use Bragg's. Do you ever use that? Yes, liquid aminos. Yes,
my grandma lives off that stuff.
I guess I'm in your grandma's brackets.
No. She introduced me. And I only say that because she's American. I feel like it's much bigger in America than it is here. People don't really, a very small.
I think you're right. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. My American grandmother told me about that. That is definitely a good example, good alternative to use. So if you have.
Yes, it is. And Bragg's is the range that makes apple cider vinegar. You'll find a really good pure apple cider vinegar in that. But yes. the liquid aminos is a good, right, perfect. So the bottle looks like that, but it's a soy substitute. Lovely, that's it. Yeah.
So and normally you can find it in like Holland Barrett maybe, or your local health food store, or Whole Foods, or something like that. Unfortunately, they have it because again it's not very popular here yet. They haven't really made it possible everywhere. But,
right. We're giving them some advertising. Maybe that's another outlet for your business. Saf, maybe you could be distributing products as well.
My oven is turned itself off. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my oven is turned itself off.
What's happening to it?
Turned off. I don't know why. What we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to do the rest of it, and you have to just imagine that these things are cooked.
We're imagining eating it anyway. We're already salivating because we want some.
Exactly. So we're going to leave that to leave the oven stuff to cook. Hopefully your things in the oven will be brown and fragrant by now. And then this is what we're working with on the stove. So.
Oh, that looks lovely. Delicious. Yes.
And then about half a cup of stock. And then we're going to put in.
If people are cooking along with us, I hope your oven's working, but she's doing a fabulous job in making me hungry right now.
I feel like one day soon we're going to be able to somehow transmit virtually the smell, And can you imagine adverts with that?
Absolutely. Touch the screen and your food will appear.
Oh my God. That's like Roald Dahl, isn't it? Willy Wonka. That was a plan. Okay, so you can use oat milk or you can use coconut milk. whatever you have. Again, I like this because you can kind of use anything. You know, you can use milk if you wanted anything that you have. And put that in, along with the nutritional yeast. So yeah, it's really important that we that vegans have B12.
Yeah.
B12 is not made in the body. Well, not what's my saying. It is made in the body, but it needs only certain things have it. So the reason why meat has it is because animals eat dirt. Essentially, it forms in dirt and it forms in the body, but it's not in our foods, in plant foods. So animals have it because they eat dirt, and we then therefore eat the B12 that they have in their bodies. But we unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, don't eat the dirt. So I'm going to show you that. Let me see. Just going to stir it.
Yum, yum, yum. That looks gorgeous.
It is smelling good.
Yeah. Well, we're going to home. We're going to get some.
Taking orders now for delivery.
I should have been in my kitchen preparing, right?
Next time, definitely. So yeah, so that's just gonna be on the lowest heat, cooking down while the veg cooks. And once the veg is cooked, you basically just mix all. You drain the ackee. I'll do that now. What we're gonna have to do, I'll have to show you it without the veg because it's not cooked yet, and then add the veg to my own meal later.
Right.
But we have ackee. Where have you gone, my dear? There we go. Ackee. Do you want to tell us about ackee?
No, you go ahead. I've got the knowledge, and I'll test you.
It's Jamaica's national fruit. I'm pretty sure it's actually from Ghana, no? It originated in Ghana, but obviously came over during the slave trade. And so funny because West Africa, like, you wouldn't see a West African person eating ackee unless they're at like a shop, like a Jamaican shop, right? But it's actually, I love like learning about the food pathways, because the Black diaspora have so many similarities and connections with what we eat, but we all have happened to either brought it with us on that crossing, or found it had similar things growing and just done the same things to it, the same practices. So I love that we have like such a different relationship with it than West Africans do, because they don't it's not even a thing. Right. So just poured that all over my laptop. Can you see this? I'm gonna strain it and then I'll show you. It's probably easier. So I like to drain and rinse it because it's been in brine and I don't like that. So we're gonna just rinse it real quick.
Rinse it in boiling water, Saf?
Pardon?
Do you rinse it in boiling water? Do you run a little boiling water over it?
Yes. Yeah. So I run it in hot water, not boiling water. Should I run it in boiling? Yeah. Okay.
No, hot water will do.
Okay.
just to get the brine off it, as you said.
It needs to come off. It's not nice.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
So see ackee there. It's nice and sweet, creamy. Vegans have started using it as egg substitute, which is really interesting, I guess, because it's not how it's used regularly, but it's definitely eggy in texture.
So ackee, as Saf said, is from West Africa, but Jamaicans are some of the only people in the world who eat ackee, because ackee has an element of it that can be poisonous if it's not properly picked and cleaned. Yeah. So people, in fact, other islanders used to be a bit scared of us because we could eat this thing and not die.
Someone's having ackee and callaloo. Ackee and callaloo is so...
Ackee and callaloo, yes, delicious. Yeah. So it needs to be properly picked at the right time when it's opened. You should never pick an ackee, which is a fruit, as Saf said, that grows on the tree, when it's closed. You never force it open.
Yeah.
Pardon?
It is kind of scary that we just like happily consume it.
Yes, brilliant.
It is that good.
Yes, and they say, Saf, you might be interested in using it as an emblem on your site, which is Sisterwoman Vegan, because they say you should never pick it and never force it open like a woman. You should always wait until she opens and say and offers you her fruit. Never ever force.
Take note. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I should definitely put that on there. I'll speak to the graphic designer, you know.
Yes. It's a very important lesson that fruit gives us. And the pod itself was used for washing. It's got an element of soap, so it was used as for washing and cleansing. It's one of these fruits that it has many uses. And although it has this element of poisonous thing about it, the Rastafari will eat it raw. So although although you're eating it cooked and it's processed because of the exporting, if it's at the right time and at the right stage, it can be had raw.
I think I would love to. I haven't never gone to Jamaica, and I'm making that change next year or the year, and well, COVID willing next year, but if not, the next year after. All of my Jamaican family live in America now, and yeah, we don't have any family left in Jamaica, so we haven't gone back. My dad was there every summer holiday when he was a kid. I'm very jealous. Why did you not pass that down to us?
Travel with him. Do a food. We'll do a food vegan woman show.
Oh my god, it needs to happen. Anyone wants to get involved. We need it. We definitely need it. So we're coming to the end. Had my oven been working, we would have the nice roasted vegetables. But yeah, we want to have them about 15 to 20 minutes and then roasted to a nice golden roast. And then we're going to add them to the sauce, which is looking like this.
Wow, look at that.
Nice and creamy. Got the jerk sauce. So the creaminess is to kind of counteract the jerk sauce, but also gives it that nice comforting mouthfeel. I'm going to put the pasta in. So much sauce extra because there's all the room for the veg. But yeah, we're going to just do that. So you want it to kind of be simmering. So I'm just turning the heat up a little bit. And then I'm going to add as a last step the ackee. And so we just want to heat the ackee through. We don't want to cook it really, we just want to heat it through. Because it's very soft, we don't want to break it up that much. And gently stir it. As I said, it's very soft.
It's actually pre-cooked before it goes in the tin.
Yeah. It's cooked, but we don't want to cook it again.
You don't want to overcook it, right?
Exactly. Kind of like with when you have cooked prawns, you don't want to have them cooking for a while because they always be tough. This one will be mushy, and we don't want mushy ackee.
Right.
But yeah, so that is. I'm gonna with some cayenne pepper. I'm gonna just put a little bit on top. If you want, you can have some olive oil as a drizzle. Okay. And we have our slightly vegless Rasta Pasta.
But it's beautiful as it is. We're waiting for the veg to go in, but it's beautiful.
I'm going to send you all photos when the veg comes in. When the veg starts working. If you have any questions, I would love to just throw them at me. And hopefully, they're not. I need another at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But yes, so it was really nice to chat with you and cook with you, and hopefully everyone at home it was easy to follow. There are more recipes online. There's lots of free recipes online, and also have a cookbook that I've just put out. I also have a handbook for radical Black healing, so it has lots of mindfulness techniques and kind of tips and tricks for mental health. And so a lot of that is to do also having which foods you should eat to kind of combat SAD, things like seasonal affective disorder, different kind of things to focus on, community, family, connection with other people. So just and lots of reading tips, reading lists, and like there's a whole bunch of stuff. So
and all that, the whole bunch of stuff is shared in the chat. So if anybody, again, you don't have to try and remember everything that Saf's saying. It's all in the chat. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Anyone?
Yeah.
It looks like you answered everything in the journey.
Thank you so much, guys.
Well,
and I will see you. I'm taking over the Portobello Vegan Night Market on the 28th of October for Black History Month. So there's going to be all Black vendors, and they're all vegan vendors, all Black. There's going to be talks and panels. There's going to be DJs, and they're all Black and vegan DJs. So it's going to be really awesome. So if you go on my Instagram or my website, there'll be some information there. So yeah.
Thank you. That sounds
exciting. Donate to the community comfort. Donate to Zeta Press. They're awesome, and there's so many things coming. So they have Bettelicious. Bettelicious is the next one, right? Bettelicious. She's awesome. She's one of the people that inspired me to do what I do. So yeah, you're in for a treat. The Bragg's product was amino acids. Yeah. So amino acids, it's also, people love to say that the vegans don't have enough protein. So the amino acids is also, if you pair it with other things, I like to put a little bit in my, when I make lentils, I put a little bit in there, and then it makes it like a complete protein. So yeah, so have lots of this will be on my website as well, kind of tips and tricks. So have a little look and explore, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. And I'll put a picture on my Instagram when the veg is cooked.
And it's fabulous. Saf, I'm looking at your skin, it's beautiful as well. So all of the good food comes from inside.
Yes, definitely. But my skin, I will say, genetically I do have good skin, and my whole family do, but my skin radically improved, like the glow. So it was always clear, but now it like glows, and like the tone is more even. It's definitely eating fruit and veg, and like water as well, I would say. Yeah. And nettle tea does amazing things for skin.
Really? Yeah, there you have it. That's the secret.
Yeah. That's the secret. One of many.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It was so nice to speak to you. And
it was fabulous speaking to you. And I hope everybody else enjoyed the conversation. It was there was so much energy and vibration. And thank you so much, Saf. It was great. Thanks to the other panelists and everybody else who was sort of negotiating this conversation.
Thank you for the press, community comfort. It's been a pleasure. I'm sad that we didn't, see the whole thing, but it smells good in here, so I'm happy.
Yes, and we saw it. We understand. We saw it.
We saw the process. That's the important part.
Yes.
Yeah, but also remember, try it with anything that you have in the cupboard. I try it with different vegetables. Try it even with a different. If you don't want to make the jerk sauce, if you have your own jerk sauce that you've bought somewhere else, use that. You don't have to use my blend. That might make it a little bit easier. You can also make this jerk sauce in advance. Then when you do it, it's quick. I like to prep things. I didn't do it today because I've just started work at a new community kitchen. So I now run a community kitchen. I will.
Yeah, that's great. You could actually just cut up everything and put it in a Ziploc bag and keep it for one.
Yeah, super simple. Just bung everything in there. I do think that taking a few hours out of the week to kind of even just to think about what you're going to eat. And even if you look in the cupboard, before you go shopping, think, what can I make with these things? Because food waste is a big issue, a huge issue. We have too much choice, and therefore we think we don't actually we overconsume. So have a look at the cupboard, just to kind of be creative, think about what you can do. There's apps you can get where you can download, you can type in what you have and they'll come up with a recipe for you. We're living in the future, man. So I think everyone should if you don't like if you don't like it, that's fine, but you should know how to do it, because it's the basic survival. And it's especially when it's cold and grey and dark outside, bad food is depressing. And
good food is uplifting, vibrant, energy filled. Yes.
Exactly.
Thanks Thanks again, Saf. It's been great.
I will hopefully speak to you all soon. And thank you again to Ubele, and thank you again to you, Ali. Thank you so much. And I will definitely be in touch with you.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
Blessings and bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It was wonderful. Good. Take care. Bye-bye.